Okay, our first guest combines her two life passions, writing and motherhood. As a parenting influencer since the fall of 2014, she's a contributor to Dual Language Schools Organization and Multicultural Kids blog. She was also named Hispanic Style 2018 Latina of Influence and received a Puerto Rico Blog Award under the education category. Joining us now is Maritere Bellas. Hello,
Hola,
thank you for
hi.
being here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I'm excited to be here with you.
We're excited to have you. I feel like this is a topic that needs to be talked about more, and it just doesn't come up. Why is that? Why aren't more people talking about this?
Well, I think that what's happening now is there are more studies that are being done about the benefits of raising bilingual or multilingual children. There's more of an awareness. It started maybe in, I'd say like in 2011, 2010. And consequently, that's how my first book, which is an ebook, it was Raising Bilingual Children in Spanish and in English, and it was published by Simon & Schuster, and it was because of the studies being done about the benefits and the advantages, and that we're all born with a multilingual brain. So we should be taking advantage of that. And the benefits for children are immense. There's so many of them, from cognitive to, you know, knowing how to deal with social conflicts and, you know, resolve things, and academically. So there's just many.
I feel like
let alone having a job like you that you can do in Spanish and in English, all that, you know, it's...
Well, it's something here locally that I feel it might come up a little more, maybe not necessarily other parts of the country, but here locally it is a big issue. It's something that should be talked about more, and parents should be informed. How did this all come about?
Well, when my children were little, there was not a lot of information for parents. So, you know, over 25 years ago. So I was asked to write a column for La Opinión newspaper because I knocked at their door, and, you know, thanks to my dear friend Monica Lozano, who at the time was the editor and then became the publisher. And she's like, why don't you write it? And so I started writing, kind of like my experience of raising my children with three cultures, because my husband is Greek American.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't find any resources to help me deal with how to find the balance between the two, you know, the three cultures and the two languages that they were being raised. So I talked about in my column my experience, what was going on at my house, and then I would add some facts that I would find in a library and stuff like that. And so luckily parents today have so many more resources, and it's wonderful.
And you're one of them. You have this book right here. This is a great resource, something physical they can have when, you know, you don't have that time to be on your devices, or something that you can share. You know, it's beautiful to be able to read this out loud, maybe as a family. What all can they find in this book? Arroz con pollo and apple pie, two classic staples there. I mean, it says it all in the title. Very Latin, very American. What can they find in this book?
Lots of stories about families that have raised children with two or three cultures or two or three languages. Not necessarily they're all Latinas. I have an Indian family that is raising their children with Spanish and English as their first language because they feel like anywhere in the world that they go, someone is going to be speaking Spanish or English. So, and I also, you know, my purpose with this book was to show that no matter what our socioeconomic background is, we all as adults have to adjust to being in this country, whether it's the United States or Spain or, you know, any other country in the world. We have to adjust before we can help our children adjust. And it's important to know how to help them, because that you know, helps them not to feel so anxious or different. Oh, I'm different because I don't speak English, or I don't speak German, or, you know. So, and we don't want that. We want our kids to embrace all that and to really feel like they accept others and that others accept them.
I think that's a really good topic to bring up, that you said the parents have to do it. A lot of the time, it's the younger kids. They learn the language quickly. They learn everything, and they end up helping the parents. So the parents don't necessarily feel a need to adjust as easily as a child would, right?
Exactly. And I think what happens too is, you know, some parents that come here, they find themselves having 2 jobs, and it's just too difficult, and they're all in the same environment where everybody speaks Spanish.
Yes.
So they kind of don't, but it's so wonderful when children see that the parents are accepting the culture they have adopted and also preserving the culture where they came from. That's a good example for our children.
That really is. I love that. I hadn't thought of that before, because the child might be able to adapt a little easier if they see the parent is able to do it.
We're the #1 example for our kids.
Yes.
So if we're doing it, they're going to do it too.
So what is this here? Luisito's Island. It looks like this might be a version for children. Am I right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is actually my first bilingual children's book, which I just found out that it's been nominated for an award. So I'm really excited.
Wow.
It is a project a collaboration that I did with a program called Read Conmigo. And they are a biliteracy program from Infinity Insurance. And it's a great program because it's a subscription that parents can join for free.
Okay.
So every so often during the year, they send books in Spanish or bilingual books. For free.
Wow.
Completely free. So when they asked me to write this book, I couldn't say no, because there were like over 200,000 families subscribed to it. And that's the next step for me. I want to write more bilingual children's book. And this was right on the heels of Hurricane Maria. And I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. So it's kind of like my little love letter to my little island.
This is really cute, of course. Luisito's
Luisito's Island, La Isla de Luisito.
Yes, that's really nice. So how can people watching this sign up for this subscription where they can possibly receive your book, right?
It's readconmigo.org or readconmigo.com.
Okay.
And they go in there and they can subscribe to it.
And it's free.
And it's free, and it's wonderful.
This is a good first step, like you mentioned, for the parents to take to help their children. This would be a great first step for them.
Exactly.
You know what? Puerto Rico right now is going through a lot. You seem like a very strong woman that's went through a lot of changes that they're having. And a lot of people have changes going to different places and adjusting. And that's just part of life.
Exactly.
And it's nice to have little things like this to help you and guide you along the way.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for being here today with us. I'm really excited to hopefully get to read this.
Of course, I brought it for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.